Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Punt Situation with Polk and Scott. How's it going, Scott?
Doing great, Polk. Ready for week 7. How are you doing so far on your fantasy?
I'm not doing too bad. It's a little different, right? I took an L last week, but I was the second highest scoring team, so I lost to the highest scoring team. Um, God, it's crazy. I've seen scores like, I mean, we're in a standard league, so no PPR. But like I was 10, the guy beat me was about 112. But a lot of the other games were like 40. It's crazy. It was, I don't know. It's been like that all year. Super low scoring. They say it's one of the lowest scoring seasons in the NFL. So, how about you?
Not doing too bad. No, I mean, only one league that I am not hadn't got a win yet. But it's like been close. Everything's been close, and just the way the schedule is this year, teams, doing stuff that they're not, wasn't predicted to do well, and they're like for the Jets, for example, their defense has stepped up, their offense has stepped up and down, up and down. You know,
Sauce, right?
right. Sauce, man, he's a shit right now. I like him.
Wow. Yeah, it's fun to watch him play.
Yeah. So, but as everybody knows, big trade this week. Christian McCaffrey went to San Francisco. They're said he's going to be playing today, but not a lot. They're just going to. He doesn't know a lot about the playbook and everything. They're just going to bring him in small packages. We've heard this before, Paul. They're like, oh, he's not going to be playing a lot, and he winds up playing the whole game and doing well. Do you think that's going to happen with Christian McCaffrey this week?
I honestly don't. He got a real short week. I think it was Thursday night he got traded, so he's had one day of practice, maybe walk through Saturday or whatever with the team. So and it's a little different, right? A lot of big packages, run packages. So the schemes change the way they do it. It's crazy because they do it out of all one pack. And Debo will get the ball, or the running back will get the ball, or it'll be now it's watered down, right, with Jimmy G in.
Right.
I honestly don't think he's going to be there much. He just, but like you said, I've seen different things. So.
Right. Exactly. What do you think his value? I mean, you think his value is going to be increasing more coming from Carolina, or is it going to be staggered? I mean, that's their offense is struggling right now. They're not scoring like they were last year, and Kittle's not getting the looks like he was, the past few years. What's Christian McCaffrey's value going to be for San Francisco and for everybody that has throughout the year?
I think, yeah, no, I think it. I think it really. He went from a struggling he went from a struggling Carolina team where he was the only weapon, and they figured that out last week. Give him the ball, show him off, and that's how the offense is going to move to a team that's pretty solid. But at the same time, like the 49ers have a solid team, but they really only have Debo to use, right? They try to Swiss Army knife every player, and McCaffrey is a Swiss Army knife, right? He can catch the backfield. He can run it out of the back. So he just fits in perfect with this team. Like their philosophy is run. We've seen that last year. That's what they want to do. Have the backs to do it right now. That's the concern is they break all their running backs, and McCaffrey has had a history with injuries. But I think people think, so I think it should work out for both parties involved. I really like the opportunities that he's going to get, especially with, Debo Samuel, Kittle, and him. That's a scary offense. Those are scary pieces that you're going to want to, defend against. And how do you pick just one? So,
right, I agree with you. So you're saying with having him there, with Christian McCaffrey being there, this is going to open up Debo Samuel's George Kittle, possibly Brandon Ayuk, which he had a great game last week. It could be scary. My worries about the San Francisco and everybody else is Jimmy Garoppolo. I know he's, in my opinion, he's a little bit better than Trey Lance, just because he has the experience. But we haven't seen him through a 300-yard game yet this season. He has a chance to do it today, with Kansas City's defense and their secondary being the worst in the league. Yard passing game today?
I don't think we're ever going to see that out of Garoppolo. What he does is Garoppolo manages the game really well. He's in the perfect offense. Everybody talked about him leaving, and I think that would have been bad for Jimmy Garoppolo because he needs his throws managed. Right? He makes some good throws. He also makes some really bad throws. You don't want the ball in his hand every time. It's kind of like a Baker Mayfield situation. Like he'll go out there and make a couple good throws and then some bad throws. You don't want him to throw the ball 100 times a game. You just don't want that to happen. So will he ever get 300 yards? Scott, I'd hope not, right? Well, no, maybe I hope the guy does. But at the same time, it's just I don't think they want. You have some real issues if Jimmy Garoppolo has to go out there and throw for 300 yards, especially if you're a run-based team like that. So maybe you broke all your running backs.
All right. So let's talk about, some returning players came in this week. Let's start with DeAndre Hopkins. Had a wonderful game. Had 10 catches, over 100 yards, got a touchdown. Man, he looked great making his debut back. Is that because Hollywood Brown wasn't there? Or is it, it's just good old D-Hop?
The great thing about it is he had 6 weeks to rest. So he's done that, right? Everybody else has been playing for 6 weeks. They're a little tired. They're a little worn out, banged up. DeAndre Hopkins is not. He's had a couple nagging injuries the past couple of years, and now he's 100% healthy coming into week 6. Yeah, he looked like DeAndre Hopkins. He had a few drops, which was uncharacteristic, but it happens. So he's going to get in good, and teams are going to remember that they have to cover DeAndre Hopkins. So look for them to target him, but maybe he don't have as good of games. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, what do you think about Ito Benjamin, man? He is looking good the last two weeks, man. He's hitting those holes strong, knocking some defenders down. I saw on that Thursday night game. Are you impressed with him? You think he's going to be taking Connor's role, possibly? Or
I tell you what, I'm unimpressed with Connor. So I think we've talked about this before. I talked to a guy, and he was Connor this, Connor that. I need to follow up and ask him how he's feeling about that Connor pick now. And if he still wanted to quote me, I hope he does, because it's coming more and more likely that I'm going to be right. Of course, we knew that, right? Right. But so, yeah, I'm impressed. Now, the idea, right, anybody's going to be successful with Kyler Murray because teams worry about Kyler Murray. He runs, he throws. So that takes away their focus on the running back, especially a quick guy like Eno. So that's what's great, right? When you hand it off, Eno, he's out of there. So good runs. He showed some really good vision. He showed a little bit of power, which I didn't think he had. But yeah, no, I continue to be impressed with the younger back in Eno than what I am in James or Connor,
Right. Well, another person came back on Thursday night. He was only out for one game, but Chris Olave, man, had another great game. Had 9 catches, over 100 yards. Don't matter who's a quarterback over there. It could be Tyson Hill, it could be Andy Dalton, Jameson Winston. This guy's catching the ball.
Super impressed with Chris Olave. Going into the season, I thought about him at the same time. Michael Thomas, which, injured, been out since week like 4 or something. Right. I didn't want to, and it was terrible on my part. But out of the rookies, he was my favorite. And wow, he is football. Just shows that when the Saints draft the right one, right?
Yeah.
Who was it before Michael Thomas?
Oh Lord. I can't remember.
Anyway, it's unimportant. The Saints, guys, comment. I know. I want to say it was Michael, right? What was his name? Anyway, the Saints, they did it again, right? That's all I'm getting at. They had drafted a franchise receiver. Well, I kind of like what's his name from Atlanta to the USC boy,
Drake London.
Yeah, so I think them two are just top of the class right now, just doing phenomenal. And I think we're going to continue to see that. Now, he did take a pretty crazy hit on the sidelines again. It kind of got up a little wobbly Thursday night, so we definitely want to watch that, right? They need to make sure that he just don't get too many concussions this first season. But other than that, maybe they wear guardian hats during the games, huh?
Maybe. Who knows?
Concussions have kind of been a big thing this year, huh?
Yeah, it really has. Especially with when Tua had that major concussion over there. Everybody's pretty cautious about that.
Well, the NFLPA came down pretty quick.
Yeah.
What about that?
Yeah, go ahead and comment on that. I did hear about that, but go ahead and elaborate a little bit on that.
Yeah, he was just talking about how after he got hit, he didn't remember anything. He remembers bits and pieces at the hospital, but the hit and leaving the field is just non-existent, right?
Right.
That's a terrible situation.
Right. It was a scary moment. I mean, just seeing his hands just just crumple up like that. And
that's what I seen that gang sign and I was like, oh no,
Yeah.
I didn't know he was a Crip, so but yeah, no, terrible situation. It is terrible. It took him 2 weeks to recover. So I don't know, man. The guardian hats would be ugly, but I hate to see these players, have the problems that they have, like with these concussions. So,
right. I mean, how do you feel about him returning on this week's game? Do you think he's going to be back on track? Do you think he's going to have some problems? You think he's going to be a little, nervous in the pocket over there? Thinking about getting hit again. What's your thoughts on that?
The great thing is this isn't the first time. He came back in that other game when he had they say it wasn't a head injury, but
yeah.
Anyway, so I don't think Tua tends to just stand tough, so I don't think that's going to be a problem. He had a big injury in college. He's never from taking a hit, so I don't think that changes. I don't think it just changes who he is completely, unless it really did some damage to his brain. I think he's going to be able to come in there and have a good game. He might be a little rusty. 2 weeks out of football, right?
Right.
And then he practiced this week, but the first week he didn't really get to practice. You're dealing with the test and all that, and they don't want to rush you, take hits, anything like that. So, and then there's 5 stages now of the concussion protocol. I don't think it's going to affect him like that. The issue I really have, the concern I have is with Waddle. Waddle did get some practice in, but that shoulder is bothering him. I have him in my lineup right now, and I'm real worried because he hard to swap him out, right? You gotta kind of have someone from those games or that Monday game or your own. So should be interesting. Just keep an eye on that, guys. But Tua, I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to be a good start. I got him in most of my lineups. So I think it's going to be better than Goff going against Dallas. So if that's what you got, like me, then Tua will be okay. So
Okay.
what are you looking up, Scott?
So I got a question for you. Speaking of the Dallas game coming up here in a few hours, Dak Prescott is making his return back after Week 1 injury. How do you feel? I mean, with that devastating loss of Week 6 there to the Eagles there, which honestly I think if Dallas's defense would have played the first half like they did in the second half, it would have been maybe a different outcome, in my opinion. But
you say that, Scott, but our offense didn't move in the first half, so
you're correct. It was staggered. It was the only thing that was really going for us was the running game, and once again we got away from the running game. I mean, Elliott was going pounding through the offensive line, the defensive line over there. Pollard was doing good, but we got away from it, and I don't know what it is. I'm afraid that Dak's coming back. We're going to get away from the running game once again. Do you feel like that's going to happen?
That's definitely a concern. That's what's happened in the past, right? They want Dak to throw the ball 40 times a game. I don't think they should change anything, any of the game script. I think they should limit the passing and continue to do what's been successful. They did it with Cooper Rush, which Cooper Rush played really well. He played definitely above his talent level. So that helps. But if they don't change a thing, if they limit it to 20 passes, 15 to 20 passes a game, good passes, down the field, middle of the field passes to keep that defense from coming up, and then we continue to run it with Elliott and Pollard, I think we'll be successful. I worry, right? Now Dak is the better quarterback. I mean, we've seen that, in the Eagles game. Cooper Rush, his spotlight was too bright for him, right? He gets out there, starts missing some throws, errant passes, overthrowing receivers, unthrowing receivers, things like that. It was rough. We hadn't seen that in the past couple games. So I'm glad, Dak's right, because he gives us the best opportunity to win, even though Cooper Rush played really well. So, hopefully they don't change the game script, right? Hopefully they don't go out there and try to throw it 60 times a game.
I mean, especially with Detroit's the worst in the league when it comes to running. Okay?
They're terrible. Detroit's the worst in the league when it comes to everything.
Right. So why would you not? I mean, just continue, ease Dak back in, let the running game take over, let Pollard do his thing, let Elliott do his thing. Throw a few passes here and there, but ease Dak back in there.
I'm 100% right. You got to talk to Kellen Moore.
Yeah, I agree with you. If we were running that team, we would have been Super Bowl contenders already. So.
Super Bowl every year, every day.
Yep, every day. Agreed. So let's talk about an injury on that NFC East side over there. Carson Wentz out for 4 weeks. Your boy Heineke's coming back to throw the ball. Everybody's been worried about Scary Terry this year, but let's remember last year Heinicke loved Scary Terry. You're going to see a little uptick with him, being back with Scary Terry.
I think so. Like you said, Heinicke and Terry McLaurin are just peas in a pod. He sits there and just targets him. And so you see that with a lot of these quarterbacks. You see Rush and Noah Brown, right? You see with a lot of these guys that they have a guy that they trust, that they kind of lean on. And Terry McLaurin is Heinicke's guy, right? So you also got to I'm going to be – Carson Wentz has a better arm, right? He can make every throw on the football field, and that's what he was trying to do. But you're not going to get that with Heinicke. He can't make every throw, so he's not going to be able to throw Dotson over the top like Carson Wentz was. So it's going to be McLaurin running them slant routes, McLaurin running them outs, things like that. So you just limit the passes that he can throw. So I like Scary Terry, and I thought about that when I was setting my lineups. I'm not sure if I pulled him or not, though. I don't remember. There was definitely like the opportunities too. So,
well, how do you feel about Brian Robinson in this game? You think he's going to do well?
So, yeah, he's the number one, right?
Right.
They definitely Antonio Gibson. It seemed like ran better, but no coach has really liked Antonio Gibson in the running back. They like the opportunity. He's a bigger guy. Was a wide receiver. Just don't cover the ball, and I don't think he does very well in teams. So Brian Robinson is definitely the running back. I think he tried a little too hard the first week. I think he's a little bit better. I mean, everybody was excited because he got the touchdown. Everybody was happy that it's been holding on to him, picked him up, things like that. But at the same time, I just think he looks compared to last week. So I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see the opportunities that he's going to get. Definitely overcame some adversity when he got shot in the ass meat, I think is what it was. It's a terrible situation. What a terrible thing to happen. But he was able to get back out there and come back last week. And they say he looks phenomenal in practice. So we didn't see it in the game, honestly. I didn't. Had a few slips. Looks like he was just trying to go too quick. He was just, let me run it, to prove that he was back and, excited about his opportunity. So that's great. I think we'll see a little bit better pure runner this week. So I'm excited about that. Okay. I got one for you. I was actually watching something the other day. What do you think about this kid, Zappa?
Billy Zappa, man. I like this guy, man. He's a guy that reminds me of Justin Herbert a little bit when he first came into the league. I mean, this guy is throwing cannons. Jacoby Myers, everybody, man. They like this guy in New England, and Mac Jones, maybe losing his job.
Ooh, he practiced this week too. Who's the starter this week?
It's gonna be Zappa.
Zappa, yeah.
Yeah, Mac Jones is still questionable. It's a game time decision, but it looks like Zappa is going to be the guy. Now he's playing a pretty tough defense this week, but man, he's been looking great since that injury.
Yeah, that's exciting. I'm excited. I'm excited for the kid. You expected you expect picks, you expect bad plays, and when he's out there making every throw, making the right reads, it was super exciting. I was like, wow, this kid. Of course you've seen it.
Don't he remind you of Justin Herbert, little Josh Allen a little bit? Just going out there, just making plays and everything. And he's running the ball, he's doing everything. He's exciting. Yeah. He's really excited.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I felt like, and that's right. You said it perfectly. It's so we, with Mac Jones, it doesn't feel exciting, right? It feels just
right.
They had that game last year where they threw it like 3 times or whatever. I know the weather was a factor, but we've seen quarterbacks. We've seen Tom Brady play in the snow and to where right. They still threw it and they kicked it where they couldn't even see the goal post and things like that. So to see Billy Zappa come in and just light up beds and have him rocking and rolling and going and look like he's going to steal a job off of injury, which is crazy, right? Because no one expects that, they expect the starter to go out and come right back in a couple weeks, and Zappa's out there just like, nah, this is my job now, What is that all about?
He's taking all the opportunities he gets, man. Wouldn't you take that opportunity? You're like, okay, man, you're the starter.
Right.
You're leading the team this week. You're going to do everything you possibly like. Hey, if you don't want me, some other team's going to want me. And I'm going to show y'all what I'm made of. And I love it, man. I love this guy. Love him a lot.
Yeah. So, yep. Exactly. That's what it's about. Taking the opportunities that you get and showing that, they did right by having you in that role, and maybe they need a bigger role for you. Not to brag on my son a little. That's what kind of happened in football with him, Carson. He was a little scared at first. This is his first year playing football. He's playing AU. He's playing tackle. A little timid, didn't want to really do anything, so they put him on defense. Kind of there was one game where he slowed up to hit the kid because he didn't really, anyway. So he had an opportunity where the kids ran straight into him, so Carson tackled him. After that, it kind of clicked. He was like, you know what, this ain't that bad. Has been going hard at practice, throwing kids. I mean, they line him up at defensive tackle. Small, kind of taller kids. We've seen Carson going through him. So, I guess he realized, he took the opportunity they had, and sat there and was killing it. Well, this past game, he played the full game. He actually got 3 tackles. He got a fumble. Just sit there and lit it up, and it's great to see, he came home excited, and it was great. I'm glad.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
So.
That's awesome. A couple more injuries there as well. Russell Wilson not playing today. Kind of expected that.
Sit Sutton.
Yep.
Sit Sutton now.
Right now. Judy.
Who is everybody? Gross. So gross. Oh man.
Yeah.
Who is it? I can't even think of it. They got that great video of him just chunking that duck where the ball was just. Oh yeah. Wow.
Sit everybody.
The wind wasn't blowing.
Yeah. So on the opposite side, Breece Hall has been doing phenomenal this year. But everybody's a little worried about Denver's defense. Do you think he's still going to have a productive game today? You think he's going to hit that double digit like he's been doing? I mean, he has just been lighting it up for the Jets. And he's the only thing that keeps it going over there.
Yeah, no, I like that you brought this up. So a lot of Breece Hall's production, really, really good production, big chunk yardage plays, touchdowns, things like that, are passes.
Right.
So I don't think that changes too much. If Breece Hall was getting the ball in between the tackles then it would be an issue because Denver's front 7 are just phenomenal. They're playing lights out. Right. Because they utilize him in a lot of different ways, I think that he's going to be able to get the ball past that front 7 and be able to still be productive. So, no, I honestly don't set Breece Hall. Just the way he's been playing, the kids, like you said, playing lights out football. He has been one of those offense running guys over, just doing a lot of things. So, every week he has like 3 guys that he's dragging to the end zone. So, really like what he's doing. I don't think you set him. I honestly don't. Who are you going to put, there instead of Breece Hall? Like who you going to throw in that lineup?
ETN? Yeah. ETN hasn't been doing too bad the last couple of games either.
He's been successful, but
Breece Hall has been more successful in the past few weeks.
Breece Hall is a better back. So ETN, they have been forcing him the ball. I don't know. Everybody hates James Robinson. I don't know if James Robinson stinks or he goes around slapping women in the locker room. He don't do that. I'm just saying.
No.
I don't know what he's doing. He steps on people's shoes. If they get new shoes, I don't know if he's running over there and stepping on them with muddy cleats. He's doing something, though, because as productive as he is, he had his coach last year. We thought maybe it was just the coach, didn't like him, whatever else. This year, they're taking away carries from James Robinson, and it's ETN. And no matter how many balls ETN drop, you know what? Hey, Robinson, sit down, shut up. ETN, try again. Super crazy. But no, I think James Robinson's a better back. And he's not getting the opportunities.
Yeah, the first 3 games he had great games, and then all of a sudden, we're gonna just go ahead and give you ETN. I get it. I understand. He is an exciting back, but let's remember this is his first year. Last year he was completely injured. So
right.
I don't know. I don't understand the there, but there is a little update here. Mark Andrews, Rashad Bateman, Sammy Watkins are all active for this week's game. DeAndre Swift inactive for the Dallas Cowboy game.
That's crazy.
Right.
He was supposed to be back this week.
Right, and they were on the bye week, so that's kind of concerning for a lot of owners over there. as I mentioned at the beginning of this year, you guys talk highly about DeAndre Swift. This is where I said injuries is going to affect him. If he was not as hurt as he was, in the past and now, yeah, I would say DeAndre Swift would be like a top 5 running back, but his injuries just keeps getting him, and that's what hurts him a lot.
Yeah, agreed. And that's like you said, that's what keeps hurting him. He's right. It's kind of a play. I like what you did. But yeah, no, exactly. DeAndre Swift, if he can stay on the field, he's a top 5 back right now with that offense going on. He was super explosive. A lot of his runs, he got stopped at the 1 yard line. He ran 50 yards, 40 yards, whatever, and knocked out of bounds at the 1 yard line. So, that don't happen back through week 1 through 4.
Right.
But these injuries have railroaded him and knocked him off that pace. And it's concerning that you didn't get him back after the bye week. After a solid, good, great week of rest, you didn't get him back. So maybe you get him back next week, but it's just concerning, and it hurts where you took him. So,
right, I agree with you 100%. So, speaking of injuries from running backs, we're seeing it again this year. Jonathan Taylor, he was overall number 1 draft pick. He's not doing great. You got Javonte Williams. He's out for the year, which just sucks. I love the guy. Concerning with these running backs, man. Just you have to get a handcuff these days to make sure that you're going to have a running back.
I don't even know if we can call it a handcuff anymore. A lot of teams are moving to 2 running backs. A lot of teams are doing what worked in Cleveland, which is Hunt and Chubb.
Right.
That definitely hurt the value, but they're leaning on the back, and then in the early 90s, the 80s, and even into the early 2000s, leaning on 1 running back is not a thing anymore. Everybody's going to get to 2 running backs. That's just what's going to happen. They're going to have 2 good running backs, which you're not going to see the APs anymore. You're not going to. It's done. So your draft is going to have to. You're just going to have to load down on running backs. They're going to have to. I don't know if you increased. I don't know. I really don't know how it's going to work towards fantasy, but you're going to have to get backs, and you're going to have to take your pick. And so what I've earmuffs. No, I've been going for guys that Rashad Penny's injury prone. I went and picked up Kenneth Walker. That's ideally that's just what I'm doing. I'm going and grabbing these number 2s, these backups, and just banking on injuries. I guess it's worked out for me so far. And there's some studs that you ain't got to, Jonathan Taylor, don't have a solid. Murray? Who was it? Guy? Lindsay used him last week. He did pretty good.
Oh, Latavius Murray?
No, it wasn't Latavius Murray. It's for the Colts. Anyway. No, Philip Lindsay actually didn't do that good.
No.
Let me see. Hold on, guys. I can tell you. I can tell you. You just maybe I can't. Maybe I can't tell you. No, I can't tell you. Anyway, it's unimportant. Just the NFL is going to become the next man up if they don't already solidify the number 2 running back. So just watch out for that, guys. You're not going to be able to just grab 2 running backs and finish out your season, right? They added an extra game. There was like one running back all season last year that didn't get hurt. They played the entire 16 games. So it's just ridiculous. So be prepared. Always be picking up running backs. Always be stashing those. You should have more running backs than anything else, I think, and you're on your bench just in case. So I wouldn't grab one this morning. Pacheco.
Right. Pacheco, yeah.
So grabbed him in 2 leagues, 2 out of 3, because of the opportunities that he's getting. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he's never done great with that role anyway. So, but yeah, just the opportunity that he, something happens and he steps up and becomes a great back. So.
All right, man. Well, you got anything else for me? That's pretty much it.
No, Scott, I don't. I'm excited for football every Sunday, and every Sunday I'm in there, stressing out like, well, my kryptonite. I found out what it was, man.
What's that?
Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow and Austin Eckler get me every time. Got me last year in the championship. Got me last week. I should have won. I really should have won, but Joe Burrow put up phenomenal numbers. And then Austin Eckler, he don't power through and score that touchdown, I win. Of course, it's a little bit of Maher don't make that kick. If he makes that kick or if he don't even take that kick, then we're good because we lose points if they miss field goals. Then I would have won. And then if Saquon Barkley wouldn't have fell down and would have actually scored that touchdown, which I really don't get, but you'd have been up 2 scores. Don't make sense. I don't know why he just didn't score. I'd have won. But, that's why we play fantasy football. It's exciting, right? You can never predict it.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, here's to this week, right?
Right.
I'm about to start drinking now.
Last week for me, I had Julio Jones. And they said, okay, he's great. He's going to go. He's going to play. And then they start the game, and he's out for the game. I'm like, and if I would have put anybody else in, I would have won. Yeah,
they're saving him for playoffs. Yeah. They're definitely for playoffs. But all right, Scott. Well, that's it, man. I'm gonna get in here and make some breakfast, eat some breakfast. I don't know. I'm thinking about smoking, but this wind is terrible.
Yeah.
Thinking about smoking some meats, but wow.
Not today.
Anyway, yeah, may not. These Sunday mornings they hadn't been good. Last week we got rain. This week, this wind, it's crazy.
Yeah, agreed.
So, winter's coming.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All right, guys. Well, this wraps it up for another great episode of Punt Situation with Polk and Scott. If you got questions or anything throughout the week, reach out to me on Messenger on Punt Situation. Reach out to Kalen Polk on Messenger as well.
Just call me. Call me.
Just call him, text him, call him, whatever.
No, good luck trying to get a hold of me on the phone.
All right.
Yeah, on the phone all day. So if I don't have 3 people on the line, in which it won't ring through.
Yeah, agreed. But Paul, take us out, man.
All right, guys. Hey, Scott, appreciate you. It's been another and Scott. Hey, guys, if you have any questions, reach out. But other than that, we love you. Good luck. Week 7. Here it comes.